This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast for Wednesday, May 25th. Forever to be known as the nuptials edition of the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. Both of us happily married, not to each other. That's why it's happy. However,
it's better we just maintain a working relationship.
Although somebody thinks we're sex and we haven't quite figured out who that is.
I wish they would come back. I keep waiting for a response.
Texted us during the show and said, "Hey, good morning, sex," and then left.
Have a good day. And we tried to find out who it was, but now they've ghosted us.
I'm pretty sure they meant you, and then you thought, well, maybe the man. And then we figured out it's Emily.
For Mark.
Okay, yeah. No, I don't know who that is.
Well, they said good morning, which makes me think that it is one of us.
Right.
Because Emily's in afternoon.
I'm not going to let it bother me all day, but maybe it will.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. What we're waiting for is, oops, sorry, wrong person. Exactly.
And that's just it, because we don't know who they are. It's not like we have call display, but we would just like, hey, you started it. Like, come on.
Hi there. I mean, it's not going anywhere. I just want to feel good about myself.
Exactly. You know what? That's a great way to start the morning. But we would like to say thank you.
And the reason why it's not going to go anywhere is because Charity and I, though not married to each other, believe strongly in the institution of marriage, and that's why weddings are back big time in the summer of 2022.
Are they? When you gave the numbers as to expected the number of couples to be married this year, it's like, whoa.
So 2020, of course, just went for a dump.
Yeah.
And nobody got married. Everybody that was going to get married canceled virtually because they couldn't have the ceremony.
Yeah.
And at the time, because I'm a jerk, I had thought, you know what? Is it really, about the wedding, or is it about the marriage? Like, even if you can't have the big wedding, don't you want to be married?
You still want your day.
And there you go. So, and then that's the part that I missed, because I'm the guy and my only job was to just go get paper towels for the reception. That was my job.
That was your job, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I did it okay and on time and within budget.
You got married, so I'm going to say
it worked. And she stuck around for a long time now. So anyway, it was out with all of these that this summer they think, number one, there could be 3 summers worth of wedding jammed into one. So everybody, now that it's opened up. So last year, 45% of weddings that were planned last summer were changed.
Yes.
So 2020 went half the weddings last year.
So they got bumped.
Oh yeah. Or all right, we're not going to have the big wedding. We'll have the small. Anyway, planned. This summer, 98% of couples are confident that what they have planned will come to fruition and that nothing will get changed. And the other 2% are clearly just worried about, and rightly so.
A little hesitant.
Right. Let's go with that. No, but 98% are full speed ahead.
Yeah, we're going to do this. It's going to happen.
The average cost of a wedding last year was $34,000.
Okay. Whoa,
now that includes, I know.
Should I dare ask, and you don't have to be exact, but when you got married, because you've been married longer than I have.
35 years.
How much? How much did you pay for your wedding? And again, estimate, don't.
No, for sure.
But I'm curious to know what the price of a wedding was in 1902. Sorry, I can't resist. When you were married in the 80s, how much was a wedding?
It was $140. No. You pay the preacher, and you put her on the back of the wagon.
I'm teasing.
Off we go. Because I'm going to say in the neighborhood, and I'm going to ask my wife now when I get home.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it was just south of 10,000.
Okay. See,
but again, let's add it all up. Because here's what they've got with the $34,000. It's the ceremony.
Yes.
It's the reception.
Okay.
It's the wedding rings. It's the engagement ring.
Does it include honeymoon?
No. So it would include band or DJ, photography. So it's everything.
Everything. You would say south of 10,000.
I would say it was probably between $8,500 and $9,000.
And that was 1987.
87.
We were married in 2009. So 20 years later. 20-ish later.
Give or take.
I would say maybe 15,000. Okay.
And
that's and like you said, that includes my dress.
Okay.
Flowers, his suit, everything.
Right. Yeah.
I would say 15,000.
I mean, people at reception. I think we were 120.
We had I want to say 180.
Ooh.
Because we have big families.
Yeah.
So
we don't.
Yes, we had 180.
And we pissed off too many of our family as it was. So I'd say you're not coming. So, yeah, I think.
So it was a larger, we had a larger wedding. Yes.
Kath may question that figure, but something tells me that it was around, because we threw some money into it. It wasn't all provided. And we wanted a little bit more, I think, so we threw that in. But I think it was about $34,000 for just those. So that
and that's just
include.
me. So 20 years between you and I.
Yeah.
And 20 years between Wayne and I.
Yeah.
Well, not even.
Yeah,
not
15,
even.
Yeah.
And it's double.
If not more. Yeah, because that's $34,000.
That was last year. Yeah.
So is the average ceremony now wedding $40,000 in Canada?
Well, that's what they're estimating.
$40,000.
Like that's
dress, everything.
Crazy.
$40,000
for one day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that was last year. So they said now.
Yeah. So last year, that doesn't even.
Let's throw
this
in
year.
our two favorite phrases with the economy, which is supply chain issues and inflation.
Look at the gas prices alone. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh.
Could be $40,000.
That is crazy for a wedding.
They said that the most popular date, when they asked everybody what all wedding planners,
and I
because
love
that's what it is.
I love this date. I really do.
They said, what is your busiest date? And it's Saturday, October 22nd. Yes. More people are getting married in 2022 on October 22nd than any other day.
And I would almost say.
I know why.
Why?
Because it's 22-22.
Oh.
It's October 22nd, 22-22.
10/22/22.
Yeah. I remember the February 14th in 2014, when it was a Valentine's Day. I think it was a Saturday in 2014, was like, everybody got married.
Yeah.
And that one, it was one of those crazy anomaly days on the calendar. But I think 22-22.
I think they're trying to save some money there because October typically is the end of the wedding season.
Okay.
Usually kicks off. I looked it up. So spring to fall, but it's like the end of spring. So right now, first week of June until the end of September. October typically is off, quote unquote, off season.
Not even shoulder season. Anytime after.
I would say Thanksgiving might be the cutoff. So October 22nd, you'd be kind of looking, because rentals, if you were thinking, or honeymoons even, depending on where you go, you'd get, I would think, I think you would save some money that way.
Friends of ours are also married on your wedding day.
The 26th of September.
26th of September, the year before us. And then we were the 12th. Yeah, September.
We were supposed to be
great.
October, and this is the funny thing. And I say small town because for the longest time, people were married. There were two venues in our town. There was the curling club, and there was the arena.
Right.
And those were the two venues large enough to hold. Like if you were going to have a party, that's where you were going to do it.
Church basement, no.
We were,
large enough,
because so we would do that. So the curling club, and both would have ice in October. So we had to bump it to September because I wanted October. I so wanted October because of the colors. It's beautiful. It's cooler. You don't have to sweat. Because we went to some of those weddings too, like those summer weddings. It's like, oh my God.
Those July 5th
Those poor
weddings.
guys in the suits standing out in the sun, or in a church where there's no air conditioning. Like you'd see the beads of sweat. And not because they were getting married. It was because it was so friggin' hot. Yeah, so... But it's going to be quite the season. And it's nice to see that it's back in full swing. And of course, that led to the music. You and I being like...
One other stat we didn't talk about, by the way, is that the average person of wedding age invitees. So the 30 to 35-year-olds.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, because a lot of your friends are getting married.
Yeah.
On average this year, you're being invited to 5 and you go to 4.
I remember that year.
You're invited to 5.
What one do you go to? And why don't you go to all of them?
That's what they said. The average is invited to 5, but you go to 4. So at some point, you got to make a decision. This is, and it's probably the one that's on the same day. There's probably one where 2 people are getting married on the same day.
When the year we were married, we had, I want to say 4 weddings that year, 3 we were involved in.
Oh, wow.
So I was the maid of honor in one. Wayne was a groomsman in another one. And then we had our own And then there were 2 others on top of that. So it was a big year that year.
I mean, I can remember so many. I can't remember the year. It was so long. It was 1902. It was so long
Sorry.
ago. It was so very long ago.
But yeah, you do go through that phase, right? You go through phases with your friends of engagements, marriages, babies. Like it all kind of goes in a very cyclical wave almost.
Then we got talking because another article came out about songs you can just stop playing. Yeah. Please stop playing these songs at wedding receptions. And we looked at the list and we said, there are no songs left. Because
really, yeah. And the ones they were listing, I kind of understand some of them. Other ones, I'm like, really? Like the Bee Gees' Staying Alive.
You got to play it.
That's a great song to dance to. And Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You. Yes, I realize it's a breakup song, but it's still a very...
Is it?
Well, yeah, because she's saying goodbye.
Yeah.
But saying I always love you. So it's kind of like that bittersweet, that almost tragic love that's I don't know. I like it.
I don't know. I'm
But yes, Hinder Lips of an Angel.
No,
I hate hearing. I've heard that. Hearing it once at a wedding is enough.
Yeah.
And it seems to pop up now every once in a while. Don't play that at a wedding.
You know, because I think we're in radio and we're musical people. To me, the songs chosen for our... Well, and we had 3 of them because I am highly indecisive. And everything's got to be a big show. What a surprise.
It's like the beginning of the dance, the middle, and then you wrapped it up, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was like throughout the evening.
Do you know who emceed our wedding reception? Me. True story.
Did you really?
Yeah. I had my brother-in-law, Marty, great guy, and he sort of did stuff, but I was in charge because you know what I didn't want? No drunk uncles getting up to talk. It's not going to happen. Not at my wedding reception. No way.
I tried that. It was the drunk coworker. I was like, oh, come on.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I know.
I saw 3 songs because to me that was really important. And so when we would go to other people's weddings, it would be like, what a letdown. They would just be like, oh, no, we just sort of like this song. Like no thought was given.
It's I don't understand that. How do you not think
their
about
favorite
that?
song that week.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll pick this one on Saturday for a wedding. Oh, okay. Like for the rest of your life, don't you want a song?
Lips of an Angel was their song at that wedding. I know. I felt the same way when I go to people's weddings and it's like, really? This like, why? What do you mean you didn't think about it? What do you mean? Like, why?
Yeah.
What do you mean it's because it's popular right now? Is there no song that really speaks to you? Or because like you, I really put in a lot of thought.
Exactly.
I was in charge of the music.
Exactly.
Except for Wayne and his mom. He got to choose that one.
Sure.
But everything else.
And she laughs.
But there was certain pieces of music I really wanted as part of our wedding. And I thought, like that's us. That should be included.
Yeah. And we, very good friends of ours got married and they had a band, which now makes it difficult to play the song. And they used Lady in Red. So here's a band. And I didn't even think they liked Krista Berg. I was a huge Krista Berg fan. Even I didn't. I mean, I got tired of that song very
So were
easily.
they fans of Krista Berg?
Not really. It was really popular, and they thought, well, we'll just use that one. But they weren't what I would call really music people. I was the music friend. I was the one that always had music going.
I think that kind of makes a difference.
Yeah, you go to their house, they don't have music on, and I was like, turn some music. I said to them, it was like, oh, that's a popular song. We'll just have the band play that one. Butchered it. Wasn't very good. And they danced to it. But again, didn't bother them like if they were listening to this podcast, it would be like, I didn't know that bothered you because they had a great time. So I'm just a jerk. But to me, I just think the song is so important.
You have a musical interest.
I just think it's so important. So I guess I overemphasize the importance of it as opposed to, I don't need to write my own vowels. I think whatever vowels are chosen, those are pretty good.
But when it comes to the music,
give me that song. Because I'm crying, you better be crying.
Well, and to be fair, I shouldn't say Wayne only picked that song. Wayne actually chose our wedding song.
Really?
Yes. And
as a suggestion, and you said yes.
I'm trying to remember now. He really enjoyed Alison Krauss, and before, I guess when the topic of music came up, before I could suggest anything, he's like, no, I want this song.
Right. Okay.
I really would like to, I like this song. I really like this song. And I want it to be our wedding song.
That would be good enough for me. And that was,
sure. And it's one of the few times, I love my husband dearly. He can be very indecisive at the best of times. So when he says, no, I I really would like this. I
Right.
want this. I kind of sit up. I'm like, oh, okay, this
All right.
clearly means something to you. So
Yeah.
yes, we will
Yeah.
absolutely, let's do that. And I've
Right on.
come to really appreciate it and yeah, love it as well.
Other wedding reception songs I think you shouldn't play include Shaggy's It Wasn't Me. You know,
Maybe Ice Ice Baby.
yeah. But to not play Bob Seger's Old Time Rock and Roll,
Yeah.
yes, played to death, I totally get it. They're going to play Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Yes.
They're going to play Bohemian Rhapsody. They're going to play YMCA.
The chicken dance.
It's going to
It's
happen.
kind of, the chicken dance has kind of fallen to the wayside, I think,
Has
and
it?
needs to come back.
Okay.
Because that was the song growing up. When you go as a kid,
Yeah.
that was the song.
Everybody goes out.
Everybody. And as a young kid, you can do it. So you're right there next to Uncle Bob, and you're right there to Aunt Jane, and you're right there with your mom and dad and your grandparents, and everybody's doing it together.
Yeah.
And yes, it is a ridiculous song. And yes, it's ridiculous to get up there with Uncle Bob and Aunt Jane and do the
Right.
dance. But that's one of the great moments, I think, of a wedding.
The Macarena. Same sort of thing.
Maybe
But
that's
doesn't
it
have
for a
the
different
same-
generation. I don't know.
I don't know, because I've lived through many
yeah.
generations, Charity.
But yeah, again, even still, that's one that gets everybody up. The twist. My mother
Yeah.
can do the twist like nobody's business.
Really?
And yet some people, yeah, that was on the list, the twist. It's like,
Don't play it
really?
anymore. I wonder when they.
That should be played, sure.
When I look at those lists, I wonder what those curmudgeons say should be played then. Like you've told us what you don't like. Okay. If I went then, curmudgeon, to a wedding reception that you
were
organized,
doing.
what am I going to listen to? What am I going to dance to? If I can't dance to the Bee Gees, what am I going to
I'd
be
be
dancing
worried.
to? Hot Shot, Smarty Pants, Cool in the Room. Make me
I don't
angry.
know. I
Yeah.
don't know what you would,
I don't know what they
because
would
I love
pick.
Ed Sheeran.
Sure.
But
yeah,
every
there's
once in a
lots of-
while, you got to throw in some
Got to play something for everybody.
spice. You got to throw something
Got
in.
to throw
that-
Time of My Life in by Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not putting anybody in the corner.
Or Grease.
Or Grease.
Throw Grease in.
Something.
Yeah.
It's old style that everybody
Summer
knows.
Nights. That was the one. Yeah. You throw Summer Nights in.
Old time rock and roll. Like, you know, first you roll your eyes because it's a wedding reception. But there it is.
Everybody's up
Gets
dancing
everybody
and
up and everybody's having a
time.
good time. That's the whole key to it. So,
And this summer sounds like that's what people are going to be doing. And
I hope
wow,
so.
are they going to?
And I hope they have great times. If you are getting married this summer, best of luck to you. If you're going to lots of weddings, if you have some thoughts on songs, you can text us. If you think we're sexy, text us, but tell us who you are and who you're directing that
appreciate
to,
it.
so that we can respond in kind.
If it's the both of us, hey, that's great. Thank you.
Could
Appreciate
be.
it.
Just kind of want to know.
Yeah, you've piqued our interest.
Tomorrow, of course, is our Throwback Thursday with Top Gun Maverick coming out this weekend, which will be an enormous movie. It's our Top Gun soundtrack. And so Team Marcus, Heaven in Your Eyes by Loverboy, Team Charity Berlin's Take My Breath Away. It's not close in voting. I'm sorry, Mike Reno and the boys. It's not close.
Well,
It's gone back to the regular.
it's closer than I thought it would be.
Mark's getting embarrassed on social
No.
media again.
You know, but I'm a little disappointed because I forgot Loverboy was on the soundtrack. And hearing your clip, I was like, oh,
That's such a good song.
I would really
It's
like to
a
hear that after
really, really
8.
good song.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I picked Berlin now.
Nah, it's a big song. It's for the listeners. It's not for us. You know, they get to
Well,
pick.
and I'm excited for the new soundtrack too, because if you haven't heard Lady Gaga, who much like Berlin and Loverboy did, I would say a fantastic
Yeah.
power
Hold My Hand. Is that what it's called?
Hold My Hand
Yeah.
ballad for the song. It's very good. And it's going to be, I think, one of those ones that stands out too. It's been, when you think in recent years, soundtrack music, yeah, and again, Lady Gaga, I would say maybe Shallow
Yeah,
from
for sure.
A Star
A
is
Star is
Born.
Born, yep.
But you don't get a lot of really great soundtrack songs anymore, or
No.
soundtracks for that matter. So
Right. The 80s were full of them.
exactly. So it's kind of a throwback that way too, I think.
Yeah. One of my favorite trivia questions before we wrap up, if I may, is what is
Absolutely.
the biggest selling soundtrack of the 1980s? And most people can't get it. They start with stuff like, well, The Bodyguard's got to be The Bodyguard.
That's
well,
90s, isn't it?
That's late 80s, early 90s. Okay,
I
well,
would
that's got to be Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna say
then
Dirty
it's got to be
Dancing.
Footloose, and then it's got to be Top Gun, and it's none of those. And it's not even
Flash
close.
Dance.
It's not Flashdance. And it's not even close. You're doing a very good job, though, but it outsells everything. And that is Purple Rain.
Shut up.
Purple Rain. Far
Nothing
and away.
against Prince, but
Far-
really?
because people don't often think of that as soundtrack
No.
because it wasn't a huge quote-unquote movie. Purple Rain. Far and away the number one soundtrack of the 1980s.
Really?
Yeah. Numbers are enormous on it. Not quite Thriller,
you.
but big number. No, I didn't know that. I
No, but you
discovered
learn
that.
something new every day.
When I looked at it, I said, oh, come on, Footloose has to be the number one. It was like, no, it's like number 3 or 4. I'll have to look it up, see where it is now.
But Purple Rain.
Enormous sales for Prince on those songs.
What year would that have been?
You're probably looking at 83, 84. Again, it was right in the wheelhouse of when all
but
that
early
stuff was
80s,
going
and
on.
then all those movies came out and still wasn't able to.
Couldn't touch it because Prince was just on fire at that point. It was just like, who?
But those are solid soundtracks.
Oh my gosh.
Like incredible, like
It's about a
soundtracks that have
5-year period.
stood.
83 to 88?
Yeah.
Oh my
Even now,
gosh.
people, if we ask the listeners, those are the soundtracks that people remember and go back to. And yet, Purple Rain.
Purple Rain, number one soundtrack from the 1980s in sales. So take that with you
Crazy.
today, everybody. Enjoy your Wednesday. We're back at it tomorrow. I'm going to be teeing it up with the Children's Foundation out of Black Bear Ridge for the Play Around for the Kids. Fine, I will.
Twist my arm.
Oh, we're going to help children. All right, I'll be there. And I'm going to look good doing it.
It's going to be tough to top your shirt today.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see what tomorrow's going to.
Pink and blue of sorts or fuchsia.
Did you say blue? I say that's black.
Is that black?
I think
okay.
it's black.
It's a snappy
But
shirt.
It's a snappy
one of my
shirt.
favorites.
It is.
So I could put it up on socials, but I'd embarrass everybody else.
We'll do tomorrow's shirt. We'll
According
put that
to a
up.
listener, I'm sexy. Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. That's today, Wednesday, May 25th. That's a lot of what it sounded like this morning. Join us tomorrow on our Throwback Thursday. We'll get you your Bryan Adams Song of the Day for your chance to win tickets. Jimmy's going to be in with new movies. We'll hear all about Top Gun Maverick finally tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll have that for you. And much more when you wake up with Mark and Charity Mornings here at 95.5 Hits FM.